Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rahmat-e-Alam by Sayyid Sulaiman Nadvi. Muhammad, peace be upon him. Mercy for the universe. Translated by Ear of Luther. Chapter 12. Abu Zar Ghafari in Islam. The Muslims who had been in the company of the Prophet are known as Sahaba. As Islam spread, their number increased till they moved out of Makkah, where the Ghafari tribe had its dwelling. There were two brothers, Abu Zar Ghafar and Anis Ghafari. Abu Zar, coming to know of the appearance of the Prophet with revelation from God, sent his brother to get full information about him. He heard the Prophet at Makkah and went back to his brother and said, "He speaks to the people and teaches them righteousness, and whatever he recites is not poetry." Hearing this, Abu Zar became anxious to see the Prophet personally. He rode to Makkah. He entered the Kaaba to know of the Prophet's dwelling. It was very difficult to get information from any other person, and further, it was night time. He reclined in the courtyard of Kaaba. By chance, Hazrat Ali passed by him. He thought the man reclining there was a stranger. He took Abu Zar to his house, although they did not talk to each other. Abu Zar passed his night there. He left for Kaaba when the day dawned. Still, they did not exchange words. Night approached. He slept there. Again, Hazrat Ali passed by him and saw the same foreigner sleeping there in the Kaaba. He brought the foreigner to his house where he slept, and even now they did not have any conversation. The next morning, Abu Zar went to the Kaaba. The night approached. He wanted to lie down when Hazrat Ali came and now asked him, "What is your errand?" He told him the whole story. Hazrat Ali said, "That is true. He is the Prophet of God. It would be better if you go to him." They went to the Prophet when the day dawned. Abu Zar heard the Prophet and embraced Islam. He said, "I shall recite this kalma among the infidels with a loud voice." He went to the Kaaba and said loudly, "I stand witness to recite, there is no divinity except the divinity of God, and Muhammad is God's prophet." The infidels heard him saying that, rushed to him and gave him a sound beating. Hazrat Abbas came hurriedly to that place and saved him. He asked the Quraysh, "Don't you know that he is from the Fari tribe and the root of your trade is through their dwellings?" Then they left him. The next day he came to the Kaaba again and in a still louder voice rehearsed the same kalima. The infidels rushed towards him and beat him. Again Hazrat Abbas came to his rescue. The intoxicated Abu Zar with the nectar of faith could not be removed from the faith in one God. Torture of the poor. The Quraysh, witnessing increase in the number of Muslims day by day and the spread of Islam, took to the persecution of Muslims, and the poor one were their prey. At noon, in the scorching heat of the sun, the unprotected Muslims were made to lie on the burning sand, and heavy stones were placed on their chests. Besides, the Quraysh threw hot sand on their bodies and branded them, Muslims, with red-hot iron bars. Such were the atrocities which the early poor Muslims had to face. And among these poor persons were Bilal and Suhaib, slaves in the custody of the infidels. Not yet satisfied with the infliction of the severe torture of this kind, they tied a rope round the neck of Hazrat Bilal and handed it over to children to drag him in the streets of Makkah. But he went on reciting the Kalma Tayyaba. Suhaib too was a slave. He made embraced Islam. He was much beaten by the infidels that he became senseless. Khabab bin Arad became Muslim. He also was persecuted in different ways, so much so that he was laid on burning coals and he was not spared till the fire extinguished under his body. Yasir and his son Ammar and his wife Sumayya were the poor inhabitants of Makkah. They embraced Islam. Yasir died during the persecution inflicted on him by the infidels. Abu Jahl hit Sumayya with a dagger, that she too died there, and then Ammar was made to lie down on the burning sand of Arabia at noon and was beaten to such a point that he lost his consciousness. Zunaira was another slave girl who had lost her eyesight by the beating of Abu Jahl. There were many more such unfortunate souls who were persecuted at the hands of the infidels. Most of them were slaves, men and women. Hazrat Abu Bakr paid the price of Bilal to his owner and got him released. So he did for the sake of Ammar, Lubina, Zunaira, Nadia, and Ubais. All of them were freed. This was a condition of the poor, but the rich folk who had embraced Islam were in the grip of their relatives. When Hazrat Usman embraced Islam, his uncle bound him with a string and beat him hard. Saad bin Zaid and his wife Fatima, who was the sister of Hazrat Umar, were bound by Umar with a string. Zubair embraced Islam and his uncle wrapped him in a mat and made smoke to enter his nostrils. Abdullah bin Masud embraced Islam and recited the Holy Quran in the Kaaba. The infidels seized him and beat him hard. What could the Muslims do? They could only complain it to the Prophet and ask him to pray to God for their peace and tranquility and safety. He used to console them and recited the stories of earlier prophets. Whatever persecutions they suffered, they came to the Prophet, who said, "The Son of Truth cannot remain covered by the cloud of falsehood. A time will surely come when you will be victorious. Before you, a prophet was cut by a saw. Some prophets were tortured by taking off their skins, but they did not sever the truth." If you like the video, then please share and subscribe the channel now. Press the bell icon and click on all. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan kaseera.